welcome yourselves to KritzKast with Core on production and Domaytoe on the other mic. How are you doing?
Good evening, I'm doing swell as always. The inVision have a Pijaka on Scout, Kafka on the Soldier class, Grip on Arrow, Luca Enderman on the Demoman class, then Stinghan on the Heavy class, Essex on Engineer, Gio or Xio on Medic, Nobi on Sniper, and Unforgiven on Spy.
Got May on the Scout, Jackie Legs on the Soldier, Garden Fungus and Buddy also returning, Sandburn on that Heavy class, Clark on NG, DQZ is subbing in on Medic, Lakey on Sniper, and Mezzo rounding it out on Spy. You know, teams feel so comfortable just giving up this first point because the second point, you know, feels so good to hold, right? That you will just give it up for free. That a lot of teams have just kind of got into the habit of basically pushing this cart as far as they can, getting a heavy on cart, full buffed with the Fist of Steel. It makes him so hard to kill here, and then kind of just flooding in from all the spaces, making the flank have to push back here. But SDCK doesn't look like, you know, the team that always likes to do that. They've already got this forward sniper, they've got heavy up on cliff, so they want to play this a little more aggressive. They're not going to let them push straight in for free, I reckon.
Sandburn is always picking his head spot, the first frag, right? There goes to Jackie Legs onto Norby, yet they lose the flank. Unforgiven gets that backstep, so Jackie and May down. A really sneaky pipe into Kafka, however, to weaken this forward pressure, but Likey gets stabbed. Unforgiven already putting his mark onto the game, getting 2 kills for his team, but in the end it might prove insignificant since you pointed out first point is of no fight really, and Likey is going to spawn for the second defense.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what you want, right? You just kind of want to get these players up in this second hold. It just is so much better. Lakey going down there, it did unfortunately let them get a super fast cap. That's pretty much as fast as you can get it on this first point here. But we are looking to get a pusher going in from inVision here. It's going to be even Ubers, so it's going to be a trade of some sorts here. They're kind of looking into this tunnel area. They don't want to make any moves. Probably just getting players in position. Lakey going down might be that player they need. Sets up their sniper to get a lot more done if they want to do something here. But looks like they're slowly trying to edge this cart time as far as they can. See how deep in they can get it before they get pressured into using this Uber. Does look like they are going to use that Uber now. But even drop down. They lose Sandburn early in this push here. It looks like Grip might be picked out, but that is only one for one here. And now the Soldier comes in. It's doing big damage from the top of this hill here. He's assisted by the Demoman in the side. It's looking just a little bit better for SDCK. They've managed to keep all the players up that they needed to. That sentry gun living for so long by Clark just allows them to hold on to that point. Zio did live, so it's going to be even Ubers coming into this next fight as well.
This was a very methodical fight on this second point already. They opened up in the result. inVision opened up this entire hill, but unfortunately they were not fast enough on the hill because before that entire push happened, Sandburn separated himself there on the tracks area, and maybe even who was the Jackie Legs predicted inVision to push way earlier because he popped the conch, and that was absolutely into garbage time. Oh, the Spy is in! And he just jumps around the corner like that. I'm going to grab that medic. Come on. Try to counter me! They countered.
Well, you have the 2 pick classes going off there. 96% Uber was on Zio here, and Buddy is just cleaning up absolute house, getting these picks left, right, and center. No one's able to get on car. It's just Norby trying to do absolute hero's work on the hill here, but he's not going to get any picks for now. They're going to have to back up once more for inVision. That's already 2 failed pushes here, and look, they're going to lose their sniper super late there. So inVision's going to have to wait at least another 15 or so seconds before they can mount a realistically good push here.
That was quite interesting. You see how dependence on pick classes can sometimes swing either way. Jackie is going to lose that 1v1 against Kafka on the flank, and they're trying to pressure forward here. Grip is going to lose his head as a pyro class, and Gardenfang is going to get meat shot down in there as well. Mezzo coming in though, Gio falling down, so no heals right now for the offensive team, but so many numbers. SDCK have to back out. They still do remain DQZ alive, however, and Clark is also going to get out, but that is finally a second cap, and they still have this Uber advantage on the third point for the defense.
Yeah, they just really disrespected Buddy there. They saw he was the only one really aggressing up on cliff there, that he had no support from anyone else. They were also worried you know, about Spy and other classes of that sort, that no one was really giving him the pressure that he needed there, and he just had a scout run straight into his face, hit those couple of nice meat shots, and it was all over from there after they also lost their pyro. But now they have to kind of try to push up this hill. DQZ does have full Uber, so it's most likely going to be a sack wave from inVision, but first they want to get this cart as far up the hill as possible here. But they decide to use aggressively in from SDCK. This is, you know, something you don't always see. They do get grip, but that looks like the only pick they're going to get. They lost Jackie Legs on the flank. That's giving Norby good space to try to do something, but he decides to back out. That Uber use is more than enough for inVision there.
Clark is on an 8k with a Frontier Justice is going to try to mask this very questionable play there by SDCK, really out of character. Usually they have the flank behind and then they try to initiate, because then this flank can get into Zio. This time though, he was completely safe because Pyro did great job there denying this forward pressure, though the soldier was in, not even going to get all that much damage onto DPZ. They're still holding off. I'm questioning a little bit this little suicide wave that inVision tried to do there onto the defensive medic. Doesn't have Uber, and they had the on the player numbers right now. They have this Uber. They're going to use it quite early.
Yeah, they do use this Uber in. It's not looking great. They do take that Garden Fungus, so that's no Pyro. So now these players coming close, but Buddy gets those lovely 2 stickies. Those players going down is huge here, and now look at all this pressure onto Car. There are players coming in, trying to do as much as they can. A couple of picks going towards the side of inVision, but Buddy is so aggressive here. He wants to get in. The Uber is used onto him. He's playing Frag Masters all over again, and with the assistance of Mezzo, they do pick up Zio there. So that aggressive Uber has worked out in their favor, but Unforgiven gets a cheeky stab after that Uber is faded.
Clarkson at 10k, and Unforgiven is definitely the man of the match for the moment for inVision. At least May is going to clean up the flank, though Norby and Essex falling down, Sting and getting stabbed as well. This card doesn't care about all the frags you're going to collect, however, since it goes down in the favor of the blue faction right now, as they are trying to look forward here, and Zio with a little 10% advantage will probably not matter in the end. They are, however, still trying to push forward right now, and the demo is already laying the foundation, laying the stickies forward. 5:24, quite a respectable time onto Vigil, looking onto a venue into getting into this last point.
Yeah, I mean, that's a reasonable time so far for Vigil. We have just said the game has crashed this, so we'll do a little bit of a play-by-play cast here. inVision is just getting that card time. They've got a soldier in Red Room trying to get something done, but the rest of the team kind of looking outside to see what they can do. 60% Ubers on both teams here, so they're just going to be looking to get any picks they can on inVision, pressuring a lot into the flank. Jackie Legs is forced back on 30 HP, so the blue team has managed to take the flank here. inVision getting so deep in here. May manages to take down Pajaka, so that's a good first pick, and now Jackie's back in the fight, but DQZ, did he just get killed by a sticky? Oh no, he got stabbed.
He did get stabbed. He wasn't on full Uber. It was close, however. I wanted into the radio cast, maybe shout out a double drop, which didn't happen, but I didn't want to lure you into this because reverse caster's curse. DQZ gets stabbed either way, and they're going to use the Uber right now, only get the sentry gun down. Really, the conch is going to get popped from Jackie Legs quite in character. Beforehand, he popped it a bit preemptively. Norby taking the head out of May H. Right now, it is a bit of a slugfest trying to focus the heals in the card because they're slowly turning the screws here on this card, getting it pushed farther on, and the SDCK respawn wave is 5 seconds still to be needed to get ticked down, but they won't make it in time. 7 minutes and 7 seconds is the time inVision is putting on this very first round of our potential best of 3. It could have been better. It could have also been worse.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think that second point was their biggest issue on inVision there. But once they did manage to get through that, they looked really, really strong. They had, you know, obviously losing their med on third there to Buddy going aggressive with the Uber, but that stab just clutched things up. They just decided they didn't have the health for when Zio was going to come in and just buff everyone up. They decided to push it back to last, but Unforgiven doing so much work, getting this medic 3 times in a row. I think every point they've managed to get is because of Unforgiven so far on this map.
He definitely opened up the points. I really do value a spy who focuses on value picks rather than getting those change steps, because in my humble opinion, change steps are usually worthless because you get like 4 players, but the enemy team would have backed out anyway, so why not try to stay alive and then get 1 pick and 1 pick again? Try to separate the respawn wave and open up the space by getting the value picks, and he did that. He always stabbed, for example, who was that? He stabbed Likey down, and then he also got DQZ down. And it just works like that. I mean, Spy and pick classes are usually the strikers here in TF2, the equivalent to the strikers in football. But if those deliver, it can really work either way. I was convinced, however, by some Uber fights that they were doing. Even still, I think SDCK did the better Uber fights, but didn't matter. They have to replicate it right now. Luca Enderman is going to detonate Jackie Legs out of the map early on. But yeah, I mean, Tranquillin point once again.
Yeah, they lost Lakey there as well, so That is going to mean they're going to struggle a little bit trying to take these aggressive fights. Norby just has such a sideline onto this hill, but he needs to be a little bit careful. It's only really May on the cart here, but the players are back up here, so it's going to be more of an SVS. Buddy's just allowed to get so aggressive here, and this is what we were talking about in that first round, where you just give up this first point, right? There's just too many people. They've even got their med out of the spawn. They're feeling cocky, they're feeling confident. They need to push this pretty fast here on the side of SDCK. Buddy survives a headshot here, and they will now be positioning to try to go for something.
Giving them the benefit of the doubt, they reciprocated what SDCK did there in the time advantage, or rather in this time push there on the very first point. They lose their flank, however, on inVision, and that prompts the push right now.
Yeah, Ubers are coming straight out here from both sides. It's not looking particularly good for anyone. No picks really coming out. Oh, Mezzo tried to go for a cheeky pick there, but couldn't quite find it. Having no spy for SDCK is usually a pretty bad thing to happen. Picks are going back and forth, though, about even on both teams, but with the demo man of SDCK going down, I think that will be the end of their push. No, Sandburn still walking aggressive. No, they have finally decided to just chill out for a second, get held up, see if they can find any overextenders.
Lakey couldn't find the shots. Jackie Lex is trying to do something. He only does a ring around the Rosie, around the little shed right now, and let's see if this consequential damage is going to matter here as they're trying to walk forward. Buddy's flinging some stickies over and they're not dealing with him all that much. Kafka is going to fall down as well. They're getting so many damage numbers high up into the defensive team, but nobody really dies. Sandman is also going to get sticked off, and Stinghen was definitely the primary focus of this defense early on. They're going to get forced upon really weirdly there on the second point, and yeah, SDCK are blustering.
Yeah, that was a very weird Uber that came out there. Buddy tried to jump around the side. I assume he was going for a force, and then you just have Garden Fungus just deny the Uber that comes into your medic, and then maybe you don't use, or you use super late. But that just didn't seem to happen. But in the end, there were just enough players on the flank. They just took enough position from everyone else on SDCK to continue going forward. Sandburn taken down very low. Need to be a bit careful here. They have no real cart time here on SDCK, so maybe they're just looking to get whatever they can. Really, Mezzo and Jackie Legs going down there. So those are kind of your sacking players going down early. Unforgiven comes in, gets Sandburn. This is definitely going to be a treat now, as they're just losing so many players on SDCK. Buddy going down, overextends a little too much into Stinghan and Luca. Just the damage actually raining down here. And now they've just kind of got it on this corner. This is about as far as they could hope to have it. We'll be coming up on 100% Ubers for our next fight here, Domaytoe.
Stinghan is reading his defensive positions really well so far. He separated out Buddy there after the heavy that blocked the damage early on onto his own demo man got stabbed. Right now, though, Luca Enderman is using his Ender Pills to teleport himself right out of there as he gets stabbed himself. And Stinghen, lucky to stay alive, though. They have this Uber right now and going to use that Uber. SDCK do have a much longer Uber duration. They don't have the numbers for it. So if inVision want to be aggressive
in the post. Yeah, I just saw that Unforgiven was so ready for that post-fight. They do somehow manage to get that fight. I didn't think they were going to get it after they lost Sand, but usually having that heavy on cart really speeds things up, but they managed to get it up this hill. Just enough damage coming out of Buddy here, but they did lose a DQZ, so that's going to be a 30% disadvantage. It's going to be another 40 seconds that they can use an Uber aggressively here, but they have 3 minutes. They pushed these first 3 points in 4 minutes. This has been an absolute rapid pace for SDCK so far, so we'll see if they can continue this.
Definitely, this momentum. I mean, you have to keep in mind as well that SDCK never really had Uber advantage the earlier points. They're only on the second point and the third point. They basically pushed it with an Uber disadvantage as well, so that might not even face them all that much. May is going to get cleaned up on the flank. Kafka is trying to separate the medium damage maker away as Stinghen falls to an aggressive snipe on the side of Likey as he's going to get fully buffed out there and is developed on this little grass area, and they're trying to sneak out something while they build the remaining 20% Uber up. The body shot is going to claim his life, however. All you need a body shot. Doesn't matter though, we are eyeing up this very next Uber push, and Kafka also tries to get cheeky there with a little conch. Doesn't really matter in the end.
Yeah, they wanted to see if they could catch someone else. They would taking that aggression through outside to see if they could find anyone, but they didn't find anything with it. But it's only a conch down, it's not like it's an Uber or something. So they are just going to be kind of resetting here. Jackie going for the high bomb. It's a double bomb coming out from the explosive clutch into the dispenser. Uber just used in time. That was scarily close by Zio, but he managed to clutch up and get that But DQZ goes down in the backline throughout all this.
Unforgiven once again. He is unforgivable onto allowing these openings. I mean, that's a wonderful suicide wave there, even though only the dispenser blew up. That was really scary and really onto the reflexes of Zio there staying alive. But Unforgiven was behind. They didn't have enough players, enough sort of awareness there to protect their own medic. However, they're still keeping this pressure up, so maybe inVision are going to fall to this follow-up aggression right now. Like he tries to peek something from outside the area there from the grass once it can work out, and the flank snuck the cut a little bit forward. Didn't really matter in the end, so still Zio on a sizable Uber advantage.
Yeah, I mean, already up on this Uber is Zio, and now look how the time has dwindled. We were talking about it before, how it was 3 minutes they had to push into that last point. Now it's down to only a minute remaining. DQZ only on 70% Uber. There's going to be another 15 seconds or so before they can even take this aggressive Uber trade. But Norby going down might be the pick they need. They're going to get a lot of cap time here. Mezzo just kind of edging it on the cart here. Is on that dead ringer, so going to survive a little longer. Luke Enderman going down as well. Might be exactly the sort of picks they need here. Uber is going to come out straight onto Buddy here. Good reflect here by Grip. They only have to use now on inVision. Going to be pushing them back, but they're going to want to play for the post fight here. Soundburn's very aggressive around this corner. They need to get someone to the gun. The gun does go down. Actually, they're getting the picks they need here. This is looking really good now. They have to scramble to try to get on the car, but there's so many players just getting on it. Kavka doing some good damage, but will it be enough here? It looks like it might be for now. It's only really May, but he can't get enough done here. Oh, but Mezzo gets on car. And it looks like that is going to be all she wrote. With only a few crucial seconds remaining, SDCK take that first round.
Maybe we'll have to see what inVision can do when they're on the defense first. So, I mean, what do you expect here? Any switch ups, or will they just play as they've been playing?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they need to particularly change anything up hugely. I think Unforgiven has been having a great game so far, so they need to keep working around him. I know this team calls a lot around Unforgiven and him getting those picks, so they'll keep making distractions for him, even on the defense, and see if he can keep getting these good stabs, even if you know, just before the Ubers come up or just after the Ubers end, he's been having some great stabs in those sort of positions. But I expect them to play about the same. I think they just need to be a bit careful with their flank. They seem to be losing, you know, sometimes outside on third point and then kind of side tunnel a bit too easily on their flank here. So maybe just need to value their like a little more on those points. But overall, I don't think there's a huge amount they need to change up so far. We are going to be seeing the initial aggressions coming out. Lakey is already looking to get this sniper pick onto anyone overextending over this left-hand side here, but it doesn't look like anyone is even going to take that pick here. Buddy's already so far forward, already onto that third point alone, but look how far back they are. They are just giving all the respect in the world that they possibly could. Stinghand's just removing these stickies, but it doesn't matter because he can just reload them and put them back. And look, this is what we were talking about before, how this point just is given for free nowadays. There is actually no contest here. They're just making sure no one comes around the corner and that's it.
They want to show us the fastest physical time, and it will be 44 seconds. Well, we had 42 before, so maybe they were even pushing faster the round before. And it doesn't really matter. Sentry Gun is going to get reflected down there, and right now the soldier jumps in. Jackie Legs going to get some consequential damage in because it forces Bo onto inVision. Zio going down to about half HP. They don't really find all that many players. Sandburn only going to get gunned, drilled down there by a combination of Stinghand and Grip, and that right now trying to control this hill area. Buddy flung straight, pencil jumping into the air, and once again, second point is basically lost.
Yeah, they lose that straight away here. There's no real contested, but he did go down to some stickies on Shutter by Luca, but that won't matter too much in the end. I don't know if we had the cam there on that Uber exchange though, but we did get the force on inVision quite early to some nice spam from all angles. And then DQZ kind of just looked around when there was a spot on him, saw there were traps on top of his head and just forced straight away. But it did give them the point in the end. It was about the right position for them. And look how much space uphill they've already managed to take here. Luca is desperate to go aggressive. They do have Uber before. I don't know how aware they are of this. We did have some damage taken onto DQZ, so he has had to back down a little bit. But Luca just wants to get so aggressive here, but the rest of the team's not really there. They do manage to take down Sandburn. He has been a bit of an anchor on that corner But a nice snipe by Lakey, just taking these players down. Dies to bleed somehow in the end. But look at this, it's just looking so good for them. Even Uber's coming up, the player advantage is towards SDCK. Uber does come out here, traded straight away by Zio, wants to lose absolutely no players in this exchange coming up. Samburn is up as well, so this is going to be that player that sits on the corner, gets his car up, and look at this, 2 minutes 26 seconds. This is absolute lightning pace, and they're going to lose Luca as well on inVision, so if they want to, they can basically just go to spawn on SDCK.
Last 30 seconds were the downfall of inVision most likely, since they didn't support Luca Enderman. I can't get over this name. They didn't support him there, they had Uber advantage, they didn't realize it. They should have get their mindset on point and their problem solving heuristics as well, because right now they're going to get bled down there 2.5 minutes for 3 points, and already as Sandburn walking into that last point, he's going to get dealt with. However, Gardenfang is also losing some marginal health there, and then majorly or mostly losing his life. So they scared some players out. The Ubers are equal. Yet again, they have to reset their mindset. Everything is still on the table, and they got beforehand. It doesn't mean that you have to get rolled instantly into the last point, even though they already lose 2.
Yeah, but with this Uber up, you'd expect them to go so aggressive from SDCK, already coming out of Red Room here. Uber's straight onto Buddy. They find that force onto Zio straight away once more, using so quickly. No milk really ever coming out from this. Plug does go down, so that's one cart pusher removed from the game, but May is just allowed to be so aggressive onto Grip. He has to back out on just 20 HP here, and look at this, they're just getting all these picks. Lakey from the big door, getting that pick onto Luca. Now all they really have to care about is this heavy here. He's doing a lot of work, but does eventually go down, and look at this time. The SDCK has just pulled out the bag. 3 minutes 53 in Prem? Excuse me?
It's heartbreaking for me, honestly. We saw how well they pulled in the very first round inVision, and right now a sickness seemed to fail either their main caller, their comms, or the people in their leading position, so maybe Saturnism at that point. But I mean, they didn't reset their mindset, because the breaking part, as I mentioned, was the third point. They had full Uber ad basically, or well, not full Uber ad, but they had like 25% advantage, and their demo man, Luca Enderman, I'm not sure if he's the main, but he wanted to go forward, should have just supported him, and somebody needed to have the eyes on that, and they could have definitely done it. But all the Wen's whereabouts and whatever, well, conjectures, however you want to put it, just didn't ring out positive for them. So right now they're faced with this almost unbeatable time, and you can see how a fast favorite part or a favorite position can spiral down into being the underdogs once more.
Absolutely. It's just a real set of tragedies. Unforgiven just didn't get any of the picks he got last time. I think after that first round, they knew who the kind of the star player has been so far for inVision, and they just countered that so well here. And now all they have to do is hold on to these points for 4 minutes. You might even see them doing something a bit cheeky and trying to hold this first point for as long as they can on SDCK. It's something that, especially Buddy, would like to do, is just give them a little bit of BM by just playing so aggressive. But he goes down, so that might not happen at all here, as I think we might just see the standard. He's going to be up in 8 seconds, so plenty of time to hold on to this second point here if they want. No Unforgiven, so you don't have to worry about that spy coming in. But the soldier of Kafka does come in aggressive, doesn't manage to find Lakey. May will play some get down Mr. President for Lakey. So they got a couple of picks coming in. Their cart time is pretty reasonable, so we'll see if they go for something straight away here. But I'm just going to wait for Unforgiven to get into position and maybe send a Sackwave in, or just get these trade Ubers out.
I do think after they got the flank down there from SDCK, kind of 10-second respawn, or Jackie Lex is even going to have a delayed spawn. They really needed to go forward way faster, because speedy time does brook no alternative here, because the time is just so heavy against them. Right now they're trying to do something cheeky that from the side tunnel didn't really work out. They have to take these 1v1 Uber trades, can't really wait for all that pivotal, well, pressure there onto the combo early on. Trying to do this right now from the tunnel, it does seem to be in the favor of SDCK, and Zio even going to lose his head, because Likey was uncontested during that entire phase.
Yeah, they got some good aggression inside tunnel here. They get a couple of picks, Lakey and May, both going down, but Jackie stays living at the moment, so that he will be holding on to side tunnel just for a little bit longer. And now look at this, they're just losing players here, there, and everywhere. For inVision, just can't find these openings. It seems like someone is at every single door. They knock at a door, there's someone there. It's not what they wanted today.
The phonological wizardry turns into logical synergy since they're just falling all down, as you pointed out, or as we pointed out. So they basically have to have 3 players here on the card and constantly slay them down. inVision is even losing grip there onto that forward ground, so equal Ubers, still something to play for, and they have to take this next Uber exchange, but the real slight ajar, the real time winner where the jar was slightly open there was when the SDCK flank was down, but right now they're once again taking this Uber fight to inVision. Luca Enderman is going to fall down, Kafka as well, Unforgiven, getting spotted there in the side flank, and they even used their Uber. I thought they at least tried to preserve their Uber, but inVision did use their Uber.
Yeah, it wasn't even Uber, it was a Kritzkrieg, but DQZ was building it so well that it didn't even matter. They already had the Uber before they could even go in here. And now we're just really playing for some bragging rights, seeing what they can get done. I think both teams are kind of hyper aware that this is pretty much a GG. A minute remaining. I don't think it's physically possible to get it all the way to this last point, unfortunately. But they're still playing valiantly here. Trying to, you know, pad the logs here, make it look a little better than maybe it was on the second round.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, to be fair, again, this can sometimes happen. This is also why I try to stay away from the SDCK cast, because this is sometimes what happens, because SDCK just have their mindset always on fleek there. Maybe not their prediction, however, 5 or 6 players just went down, so if they would have another half a minute, I think they definitely would have a great shot here, but unfortunately probably only the 3rd point is going to get kept. But time to pad their stats, time to maybe put some choice remarks back into our mumble and microphone. Do we have any other choice remarks maybe about this game?
I mean, I feel like I'm just a bit disappointed. That first round was such a nail-biter, right? We saw, you know, inVision have such a great last hold going on. You know, they really had to pull a lot out of the bag on SDCK. They had to try to be quite inventive, put a lot of pressure onto their pick classes, which, you know, they always seem to perform at some point.